Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
And good evening, Critical Blasters. Welcome to another edition of the Critical Blast Cavern Releases. I am your host, R.J. Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at criticalblast.com. If I said Critical Blast enough, I want to drill that into your little brains there. Don't want to say little. They're not that little. They're kind of medium-sized, about the size of your fist, I believe, is what the medical professionals will tell us. And tonight we have some special guests with us from American Mythology, as we are going to go over this little title called Starring Sonia Devereaux. So with us tonight, we have Mr. Todd Livingston.
How
Todd,
do you do?
welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And joining him also, we have Mr. Nick Capetanakis. And I hope I said that.
That was excellent pronunciation.
I worked on that. How are you gentlemen doing tonight?
We're doing well, RJ. Well, I am. I can't speak for Nick. Nick, how are you doing?
Why don't you try speaking for me, Todd?
I'll do that.
If you just draw like
I'm
little
feeling a
lines
little
down-
gassy tonight.
Oh, then no, Todd cannot speak for me tonight.
Well, I gave it my best shot. Now, RJ, I understand this thing was put together fairly quickly. I don't think that my team had time enough to send you the preparatory material. So if you will indulge me this moment, there's a list of topics that I will not discuss publicly. And I just want to read them to you right now, and so you can accept them, and we can move forward, with a positive result for the evening. So
I'll make sure there are things I don't mention except by accident.
It's just a quick list. Things that I will not discuss: politics, religion, sports, drug addiction, the geography of Canada, mathematics, quicksand, speeding tickets, fire hydrants, hotel rooms, Tom Hanks, elbow macaroni, Rita Wilson Hanks, Chinese food, butt stuff, and if you need to make some notes, now's the time. Time travel, sandals, dramatic license, tooth decay, thunder and or lightning, squirrel theory, and artichokes, but really only certain aspects of artichokes. If there's something on your mind, fire away, and I will either answer or I'll defer to Nick.
All right, and that's our show. Thank you for coming, ladies and gentlemen.
My team also did not get a hold of you, and I would just like to say I am only going to discuss the things that Todd won't.
Oh, well then good, we have a show.
That's why we're a good team.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad that you let me know what I could not talk about, because I'll be honest with you, I went out to IMDb, and Sonia Devereaux's IMDb listing is about as scanty as her wardrobe. So I'm hoping you guys can fill me in on a little bit of her history.
Well, she's not a very popular actress, because she'd be in bigger films. She's just doing what she can do.
Well, she does it well.
She doesn't even have a SAG card.
Oh, well, she doesn't SAG at all, so there's a good reason why.
Rim shot. Thanks for being here tonight.
Absolutely.
Good night.
Spider shark versus snake bear.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys sold the rights to that yet? Because there's got to be a sci-fi movie in this that we haven't seen yet.
Well, that was.
We're probably going to get sued, because I'm sure that's happened before. I mean, what could be more obvious than a spider shark or a snake bear?
Exactly. It definitely sold me. I mean, my LCS guy, he puts up pictures on Instagram, says, this is what came in. And I'm like, yeah. What? I don't know what it is. I don't care who did it. I want that. So it sold me. Plus, I love this cover. This Mike Kaluta tribute cover here. And bit of trivia. Do you know who the model was for the original?
I did, until you just asked me.
Louise Simonson.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
That's something I just learned like a week before this cover came out. So I'm like, serendipity. I'm going to buy this book. It speaks to me. Good gosh. Where do I even want to start with this? Because it's very hard to find a number one of Sonia Devereaux, because there's like, Naked of the Damned 2. She's always in the sequel. I never can find the original.
She's not a popular enough actress to be in the original.
Yes. Once the franchise is dead, they bring Sonia in to put the final nail in the coffin. So
gotcha. And speaking of coffin, this particular issue has the guest star appearance of Ivana Cadaver.
Indeed, it does.
How did you guys swing that one?
I asked Ivana Cadaver if she would like to be in the comic, and she said yes.
It's simpler than that.
She and I have been friends for 20 years, something like that.
She's only 22.
I know.
You met in daycare?
She's 522.
Oh, okay.
I actually wrote one of her Halloween specials back in the day, as they say. So we have a bit of a history, she and I. And as we started to use actual actors in the comic playing roles in the movie, I'm just really pulling in all of my friends who would be involved in this kind of film, and also the opening and closing, the bookend to every issue is different. Like Sonia's either at a premiere or she's at a convention. So it's been fun to try to find different ways to put her in a position where she's watching one of her own movies, because it's not natural.
No, it's not. But I do love the conceit. And like I said in our initial emails.
You have yet to hear conceit.
Oh.
I'm the greatest.
Because I used to sit up. I used to be, when I was in college, I used to be up all night, as they used to say, on
Rhonda?
USA with Rhonda Shear. And in fact, because I referenced her in the comic book review, I got an email from her publicist saying, "Hey, can we send you some other things to look at?" I'm like, "How did you find me?" And
nice.
Rhonda Shear can send anything for me to look at.
And apparently she's doing lingerie right now. So
she has for 20 years. Yeah.
Yes. Well, exactly. I look at plenty of her stuff without her sending it to me. So there we go.
I guess I'm going to start with the most basic, which is, how did you guys come up with the plan to take a B movie franchise that doesn't exist and make it a comic book?
Well, we can go back to the beginning. Todd and I used to do a comic strip called America Junior, and it was a accidental country that happened inside the United States.
The Chad.
Yes, it was Chad before the Chad was cool. And so they accidentally became their own country. They had to come up with their own government and their own president. And so we kind of had a world where it mirrored American politics in this tiny little setting, which was kind of fun. Todd brought in our main character's ex-wife, who happened to be Sonia Devereaux. She was a semi-famous, she's the most famous person in America Junior, but one of the least famous people in actual America. So from there, after we stopped doing the comic strip, we were like, there's a little more life to this character. We want to kind of see some of those bad films that everyone's referencing in the comic strip. So that was the genesis of us starting Sonia Devereaux.
Sonia is actually based on an ex-girlfriend of mine, and the Sonia strips were among the first strips that I wrote for America Junior, but they actually did not end up appearing until 3 or 4 months down the line. We just got caught up in all the other storylines, and then brought in Sonia. And as Nick was saying, we had so much fun coming up with the titles for her films that I suggested that we just take a month, because we were a Monday through Friday strip. Take a month and just do one of her films in strip form. And it was great fun. And the Frame brothers, who are brilliant illustrators, I think had a lot of fun with it. And then it was just kind of natural after America Junior ran its course that we wanted to do another project, and it just seemed like so much stupid fun to do these B movies starring Sonia. I mean, I grew up watching B movies, and it's a huge part of who I am.
Yeah, most guys did.
Absolutely. As soon as we had Cinemax on cable, I started watching B movies, and Sonia Devereaux's films, they kind of remind me of the movies you'd watch on Cinemax not too late at night. It's like, you'd get your Hollywood premiere, and then you'd get your sort of like, okay, guys, we're getting a little edgy here now, before they just went flat out soft porn.
Right.
And those were the best, because it was like, as a kid who's 18, you're like, oh, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. Oh, they cut.
There were several versions of those movies,
This is true. So, like, now you're going to make me wonder, is there another version of the movie where Sonia and her friends get an extended scene? Because
yes, that ended up on the cutting room floor.
Where they got comforted even further.
But let me add that we're in the process of publishing a collection of the first 4. And there are bloopers and outtakes from those movies that are included as the bonus features of the trade paperback.
Oh, I will be looking for that. Do we have a release date for that?
Probably November or December. We haven't solicited yet, but it's going to happen soon.
All right. Any truth to the rumor that Sonia Devereaux is actually Sophie Devereaux's grandmother from Golden Girls?
We can confirm that's absolutely
granddaughter.
True. Yes, absolutely true. And she is her grandmother, but we're not talking about time travel because of Todd's restrictions. So we'll go with granddaughter, yes.
Okay, wonderful. The special effects, the CGI for this spider shark here, this is fantastic. I mean, the way you got the legs moving on this, the water splashing, I've got to just imagine. I would not have expected the budget to be able to pull that off. I was looking for zippers and seams, and I didn't see them.
Yes, that was stop motion, actually.
Oh, excellent! So you're Harryhausen.
All the money was put into that one particular shot. The rest of them look like crap.
I was going to say, we didn't see much of the snake bear. The one shot of the snake bear, I could tell that was Jack in the Box technology when he bust through the thing there. I was just that was spring-loaded cat right away. So a little disappointed there, but it did. I did like the touch of the giant honey pot that he was attracted to.
Yeah, that's funny.
There's a little poo in everyone, isn't there?
Yes.
That's why the show's only an hour long.
I was gonna say it took me a little bit longer than that, but I think I was probably rewinding things a bit. And again, I want I do want the cutting room floor, because I really don't like the censorship when you have to pixelate the comforting of the spider shark and the snake bear.
This was on television. It was on television. Oh. It's not on the Blu-ray.
We're going to blame the network.
That was on blame YouTube America. It's their fault.
Yeah, okay. That was done beautifully, by the way. Another kudos to the Frame brothers for that.
Yeah, and I tell you, in the script, we asked them to make the creatures look as phony as they can. And also, because this is shot in Los Angeles and not in a jungle, we asked them to occasionally put a palm tree in the back, because when you're making a B movie in Los Angeles, there's going to be palm trees. So you can look through and you can see palm trees.
I'm flipping through right now.
It's just a little bit of detail that you wouldn't normally catch.
I'm looking for detail, and I keep going back to the threesome shot, catching the tail. That's
Todd. I thought you were gonna say that we asked the Frame brothers to show the snake bear having a moment of pleasure, and they captured a bear orgasm better than anyone possibly could. I mean, they must have studied in the field for that one.
You know, most of my orgasms have been bear.
That's a grisly joke.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Normally, I'm an incorrigible punster, and I don't need any encouragement. But when it comes to the Earth sign ones, I'm a little out of my depth. I don't know. I just had so much fun with this book, and I keep referring it. My friends reference it. I refer it to them and tell them that they need to pick this up. How long have you guys been doing this?
Just Sonia, or?
Yeah, let's go with that. How long have you guys been doing Sonia?
Well, we
and
started.
Is that part of her contract?
America Junior began in 2006. So that lasted until 2012. And then I think 2012 was the first Sonia book, Naked or the Damned 2, followed by Vampire Academy of 4 and Debutante Desperado. And now this one.
Yes, we're slow.
Yes, very slow.
Quality takes time.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're pumping out some extra ones right now so we can stay ahead of the game.
So I was going to say what's coming next, but the thing is I already know what's coming next, and I put it on my pull list. She's going to do a superhero movie.
Correct.
Yes, she is.
Violet Vixen. I have to keep looking at that. I can't tell. Is that your traditional boob window or a pink V?
That's a boob window, my friend.
Fantastic. Boob windows are what make comics.
It's a boob V. A boob V.
A boob V.
Boob V.
That's hard to say. Fun to say, but hard to say. And when
hard?
can we?
What was hard? I'm sorry. Okay, keep going.
Did I just miss a beargasm?
I don't know. This is a coming attraction, so I'm trying to figure out when that's going to happen. It doesn't have a date on it. Do you guys know when we might expect that to?
First of the year, maybe?
It's being drawn and colored as we speak, page by page.
So it'll come out shortly after the
trade.
The trade compilation.
Yes.
Of the 4 movies together. And Ivana still talks to you after this.
She just received her copies today, and I haven't heard from her. So we'll see.
That explains a lot. So how closely do you work with the Frame brothers when you're drawing? I mean, are you like literally over their shoulder, or is this like a long distance relationship kind of thing?
We just met them like 2 years ago for the first time
in person
at Baltimore. Right. We've been working together for, I don't know, 15 years, something like that. Not quite that long. But it's all been online.
That's a lot of. I've heard the same thing from like voice actors. They all the voice actors in cartoons go in and they do their voice and leave. They're not all there together, and very seldom do they ever meet each other, except at conventions and such. So that's cool that you guys did finally get to meet, though. Were they what you expected?
They were identical. So yes, we were expecting that much. And,
I didn't know they were twins.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Identical twins.
With the same talent. So
yes. But
that's very cool because you can switch off. You draw page 1, I'll draw page 2, and nobody's going to know.
Mm-hmm. And so the way things have kind of worked with the frames is we'll send them an entire script and they'll start sending us page by page. Very seldom do we have to give them a note because we are so in tune. They add a lot of humor with their illustrations. So we're kind of lucky. These guys are literally on the same page with us with these comic books.
I consider them the best at drawing comedy in the business right now.
Well, it's definitely I love the line work.
And they work really deep in the panels, and they, like Nick said, they add quite a bit to the stories.
Well, now I'm going to have to definitely reread it for like the sixth time because I didn't know I was looking for palm trees and hidden gags in the back. For the only thing I found in the back that I loved was actually pointed out to me was the shark fin above the bushes because the spider shark was lurking about. One of the things that I really liked about this one was the way it sends up other B movies, and I don't know if that's consistent throughout the others, but she's into the jungle with a team of commandos to supposedly rescue an archaeologist, but actually to capture the spider shark and or snake bear. And the guys fill out these tropes, and they're always saying something when something gets tough, and she's like, don't say that. That's always the last thing a guy says in this kind of movie before he gets killed. And then he gets killed. So how many bad movies do you have to watch to get that kind of thing?
All of them?
All of them. This issue, the movie is more self-aware than the other movies are.
I like self-aware.
We have better actors in this one too. We too.
I think the first self-aware B movie I saw was 1986. I want to say I was in college, and it was called Student Bodies.
I love Student Bodies. I saw Student Bodies in the theater.
Okay, then you'll remember the scene where they cut away and the director comes on, or the producer, and he talks about how they've noticed the trend that R-rated movies make more money. And he says, and having realized that we don't have any nudity or cursing in this movie, the producers wanted me to take this moment to kindly say, fuck you. Right. And then they just cut back so that they could earn their R rating and make the money. Breaking the fourth wall has always been one of my favorite tropes. Deadpool does it all the time now, and it's kind of gotten old with him. But early on, it was kind of cool. What kind of things do you want to do with Sonia Devereaux that, okay, stop. What kind of movies would you like to, this isn't going anywhere good. After the superhero genre, what might she star in?
Well, there's another horror film called Ghost of Bikini Island. There is
another horror movie called Blood Monster from Hell.
We've had requests for a slasher film, so probably going to do that. Want to take her back to her horror roots.
So no Christmas movies, no Hallmark Christmas movies coming from her.
Those would be fun though.
She's not Canadian.
Oh, well, doggone it! But the books are printed there, I'm sure.
Can you see Calvin? Calvin's joined our meeting here.
Oh,
what's he wearing?
Calvin is also in a suit and tie.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
I do not see Calvin.
Thank you.
Do you see Calvin?
I did. I no longer see Calvin.
Because I would have been the only one to see Calvin first. He would have shown up in the green room, and then I would have had to click him to have him come in, which I would be happy to do.
There he is.
No, not here. Calvin?
No. Calvin's right at my lap here.
Okay. I see Calvin now. I thought you guys had shared the link to somebody else. And I'm waiting for somebody like,
Why would we do something like that? We're civilized men.
Why not? I take risks and actually open the stream up to the public sometimes. Say, here's the link if you want to come in and talk. Not tonight, though. That would be rude. I can. Just put it right into the chat and let everybody. That'd be fun, a Q&A, but they just use the chat for that anyway. So I did notice that she's managed to. Now I'm just going with pictures I've seen on the internet, and God knows they lie to me all the damn time. But it does look like she has done some work with the Three Stooges.
Does it?
Again, that's a time travel question. Todd is not taking those.
Oh, oh. But you are.
Yes, that I'm exclusively taking. Yes, she traveled back in time, did a short with the Three Stooges. She poked them all in the eye, and okay, I'm not going to go all the way with this joke. So
Did she go?
there was just some poking in the eyes. That's it.
Okay. Well, if they're going to poker face, that's not very polite of them. They're usually nicer to a lady than that.
There you go.
But they're not public domain yet, I don't believe. Or maybe they are.
I don't think they are. I think they're a licensed property at AMP.
But the Frame brothers are drawing the Three Stooges comics, so she might have just kind of crashed the studio while they were working.
Well, if she's got that time travel machine, I would hope that she would wander into it now and then and perhaps star with some other heroes of the past or other properties that AMP might be working with in their studio back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is there any chance of that?
Bullwinkle Moose, Todd?
Oh. Don't tease me like that. I'm a huge fan of Bullwinkle.
I am too.
Yes, and Todd has written several of the recent Bullwinkle issues. He's done a masterful job too.
Well, thank you, Nick. Unfortunately, their time has come and gone at American Mythology.
Uh-huh.
I think I'm allowed to say that. I don't know. I don't know what I'm allowed to say, but yeah, I think AMP is moving on from Bullwinkle and Rocky. And it was an honor and a privilege to write their stories. It was a lot of fun. Every day was Saturday morning to me, but it is anyway because I don't have a job.
I'm going to ask you questions I know you can't answer because those are the fun kind. But I do know that one of the biggest draws for me as a comic book fan is when two comic book companies, see why you can't answer this, get together and say, yes, let's play in the same sandbox for a while. IDW is great for this with DC Comics when they do things like Star Trek and Green Lantern Corps. I'm like, oh, that goes together like peanut butter and sardines, but I'll eat it.
They're both out of space. It works.
Exactly. Yeah, it did work, actually. I was very impressed with it. One publisher who is very open to doing the crossover kind of thing and is still doing it is Dynamite Comics. And, of course, Dynamite Comics has another B-movie starlet who's trying to break into the big times. Who do I have to blow to have Sonia Devereaux and Betty Page in the same book?
Probably somebody at Dynamite.
Okay. Because AMP would probably go with it, sure.
Just start blowing and see what happens,
I might start to whistle like Humphrey Bogart. I just think that would be all kinds of fun. And Betty Page is, of course, the first person I thought of when I saw this. I'm like, oh, we need another B-movie actress. Of course, dummy me, I'm sitting here thinking that this is a real B-movie actress who has licensed herself out to do comic books like Pamela Anderson did with Barbed Wire. I'm like, oh, wait, no, she's fully fictional.
That's a huge compliment.
Yeah. I love character mashups like that. Would love to.
Well, then internet, do your due diligence and get out there. I shall start tweeting Nick Barucci tonight about that and see what I can pull up. I'm very close friends with some of his very close friends' housekeepers. So we'll see what we can pull off there. That would be great.
I only see him in hotel lobbies.
Does he see you?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. Are there any recurring characters? Because again, one book. Other than Sonia Devereaux, does she act with these people playing different roles?
I've considered that, but I mean, it's just the fourth issue, so there's really not a lot of recurring involved. Maybe down the line.
Okay, because a lot of these B movies, they stick with the
they
same.
They do.
And along the lines of the whole Betty Page thing that I just mentioned, is there and you've already done this with Ivana Cadaver showing up in here. Ivana Cadaver. I want to say the I correctly. For some reason, I keep going Trumpian on it. Is there any opportunity to approach and or license other scream queens to have them guest star?
I think so.
Sure.
I think so.
Totally up to them saying yes if we ask. Because no means no.
Except when jewelry's involved. Then it means maybe.
Yes. No, maybe. Gotcha. I don't know where to take this discussion, guys, and unfortunately, that's.
What about San Francisco? We'd like to go to San Francisco.
I'd love to go to San Francisco, but oh wait, I'm thinking San Diego, which I haven't had since I dropped my waffle on the beach. But the big Comic Cons. Do you take this show on the road? Do you go to the conventions? Because there haven't been any this year, and that's got to hurt.
I used to do a lot of conventions.
Comic book ones?
Yep. Comic book ones, horror ones. I've met Ivana Cadaver at a horror convention in Los Angeles. I think it was called the Necrocomic-Con.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was fun. And it was held at a haunted attraction.
Really?
Yes.
That's very nice. Did you see anything there other than the usual?
I missed what you said. I'm sorry.
Did you see anything there supernatural other than the usual?
Oh, no, it wasn't it was a haunted attraction, not a haunted house.
I thought you meant like here in St. Louis we have the Lemp Mansion, which they have dinners in, but it's technically truly haunted by the suicide victims that live there, and people see things. I know where I was going to go. America Junior, Back to the Roots. Has that been compiled in book form anywhere? And if not, will it be?
Yes,
yes.
It has.
The first 150 strips were collected by Image Comics. And we are talking to publishers now about getting the entire run collected. There were 650, 700 strips total. And we would really like to release the complete America Junior.
Mm-hmm.
I think now would be the most timely time to do that.
Yes.
If not, in fact, revive it and give it a little bit of a Chaz treatment.
Yeah, it's
poking. Can you poke fun at the Chaz? I don't know. Would they declare war?
Well, they're over. America Junior is still going, so we got one up on them.
Longevity wins.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we've discussed it certainly. I mean, these are crazy times for politics, so. How much comedy can you get out of something that's already pretty darn comical? We think we could do better, but
I'll tell you, self promotion plug time here. I don't just do Critical Blast. I work for other people, namely Destroyer Books. If you've seen a movie in 1985 called Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins,
of course,
that is the Destroyer, and it's action, adventure, and satire. And by God, if it's not getting hard to satire things these days.
It is.
Because as I've crossed off a number of plots because I'm like, no, that's too ripped from the headlines now. We can't do that.
That happened.
And in fact, even now, I'll see something in the headlines and I'll be emailing my publisher and saying, hey, Devin, somebody's reading the book and they're using it as a blueprint. So I don't want to be... I want to be safeguarded from any FBI investigations. So other than Sonia Devereaux and American Junior, are you guys involved with other well, you've already mentioned Bullwinkle and Rocky, the Bullwinkle show. What other books are you guys doing?
We put out a series called The Odd Squad, which is currently being shopped as a television show by, well, can I say people's names and stuff, Todd? No? Okay. So The Odd Squad is about a team of paranormal investigators who try to keep America safe from extraterrestrials and other dimensions. and they're really terrible at their job. So it's a great, fun comic book. The Odd Squad. We had a whole series of those, and
that the Frame Brothers illustrated.
Illustrated, yes.
Excellent.
The Frame Brothers are our go-to guys.
I hear Sci-Fi has an opening for a comic book adaptation, science fiction thing, but I'm just being mean now.
Yeah, what we'd really like to do with Sonia is end up with just a 30-minute show on something like Netflix where she can do a film every episode. I think it's a perfect setup for something just like that.
You know what I saw her in my head as? One of the many things, I'm just going to say the one I can say online. Animation along the style of Archer.
Yeah.
Archer was a fun show.
Is that what you were targeting when you said you were liking to see a 30-minute show on Netflix, or are you wanting live action?
I'd like to see live action. I think it would really lend itself well, just to jump into other sets and do bad films with a little wraparound about what's going on.
I would like that. Just and title of the series is starring Sonia Devereaux.
And the lazy part of me, which is admittedly most of me, likes the fact that I don't have to write an entire movie.
Mm-hmm. Only 30 minutes.
Only 30 minutes of it. Only the exciting parts of it.
Wouldn't even be 30 minutes because 22 minutes and then set up and
right.
Yeah. Exactly. You only have to film the treatment.
Yep.
Damn, that's genius. I'm writing that one down. Only film treatment.
Wait. Did you call us genius? I like that.
Yeah. Of course. I throw that word out a lot, though. I've got a 12-year-old who brought me something he made out of paper mache, and I said genius about that. So
it doesn't devalue it for me at all. I'm still super happy.
He's currently upstairs watching It 2 and laughing his ass off, and I don't know if I should go to sleep. He loves horror movies. I'm like, that's gonna. You watch Child's Play. I'm like, that's gonna give you nightmares. He's like, I'll risk it, and he just had a grand time watching the blood flow. So doesn't have my genes. They wouldn't fit him anyway. Guys, where can people get these online? I'm going to say it's in the description below, but let you guys say it out loud.
Well, you can get them online at the American Mythology website, which is americanmythology.net.
Why .net? You don't know. Everybody's got a .com. Who's still using .net? Now, of course, the scrolling banner that I put up here is telling people that what they really should do is go to their local comic shop and say, go get me Sonia Devereaux. Yes, order this through, I almost said through Diamond. I'm guessing it's still through Diamond.
It's through Diamond. Yep, absolutely. And we appreciate that. The scroll. We like the scroll.
I try to put up as much as I can. I played with the whole. I just started paying for this thing. I quit being a cheapskate. So now I gotta, write this off on my taxes. I started playing with these things called overlays on it, and I'm like, ooh, that looks nice. Didn't know if that was going to fit or not, get in my way, and of course, it absolutely does every time I design one. So sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't, or I'll take them off entirely.
This is all magical to me.
Kind of made you look like a boob.
Oh, I hate when that happens. But yeah, it's fun. This live streaming thing is starting to catch on, I think. But gentlemen, I want to keep you on for another 20 minutes just because I like doing an hour show, but I don't know where else to go with this. I mean, we've covered the material, and I don't want to pad for the sake of padding. And I don't want to, keep you guys from doing something that might actually be fulfilling in your life, other than talking to me. So is there anything that you were prepared for that you're like, damn it, when is he going to ask this?
Nothing about.
I never prepared for anything.
No artichoke questions?
You didn't want to ask Todd about his tuxedo?
Well, you both dressed up so nice, and I
Mhm.
feel underdressed.
Well, it's after 5. We're not farmers.
It's true. It's true.
But I actually called Todd and said, "Would a tuxedo be too much for this show?" And he's like, "Are you joking?" And I was like, "Yes, of course I'm joking." He said, "Because I'm wearing a tuxedo." And I was like, "Damn it! Now I got to change."
Half the time, y'all are lucky if I'm wearing pants. So just why I'm sitting down. So yeah, as soon as I saw Todd in the game, I'm like, holy shit! Do I need to like really be on my top game tonight, or what? What have I?
We're civilized men.
Manly men. This should have been a drinking stream, I think. But I do,
I've been drunk all day.
I do enjoy artichokes. I get artichokes on pizza, believe it or not.
Good.
We have a local chain that's a take and bake, and you bring it home and you cook it, and we just love it. And they have a chicken bacon artichoke pizza.
That sounds delicious.
It is to die for. It's got this nice little white pesto sauce on it. If you have a Papa Murphy's near you, that's the place I get it from. I would look them up. It's a very, very nice pizza.
And that would be more the artichoke heart, Todd. So it's not the full artichoke. I don't want you to get concerned about this artichoke talk.
Yeah, that's the spiky stuff they take off. And I feel sorry for artichokes because they only have a heart, and then the other organs were just left out. God just didn't finish them up. I'm expecting that they'll evolve, and when they get brains, they'll take over like they are the Triffids.
Sometimes all you need is heart.
The vegetable of the Tin Man.
The band from Seattle.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Well, guys, I'm just kind of rambling now, and I don't want to do that much longer than this. So I want to thank you guys for showing up. Everybody in the chat, if you want to support American Mythology Productions, you can buy it online. That'd probably be, your expedient way of getting the back issues. But tell your local comic shop that you're in love with Sonia Devereaux, and then explain it's a comic book, and that you want them to put it in your pull list. And then after you do that, get it out of your pull list. Don't let it sit there. You're costing your shops money, and that's not cool, especially in this day and age where they've been shut down for 3 months and they're trying to recoup their losses. Did A&P have? Everybody else was pencils down, so they say, and shut down. Did y'all pull through okay? I mean, you look like you dressed well, so.
Well, we don't actually work for A&P. I think everybody shut down, although we were writing the new issue.
Mm-hmm. And the only reason we're dressed so well is these are the only clothes we own. We're going to wait tables after this. So
I got you. Well, I don't want to keep you from the paying job. So, gentlemen and guests, appreciate you being here, and we are going to call it a night. And as I said, go out and support Sonia Devereaux. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you so much for having us.
Hi. Thanks for stopping by for another Critical Blast video. The internet is a big place, and we know there are lots of other places you could be other than here, and we appreciate you being here immensely. If you enjoyed this kind of content, we hope you'll return for more. If you click the subscribe button, you'll get a little notification of when we produce new video content. If you would like to help the channel out, there are many ways to do so. Just visiting our main hub, criticalblast.com, will do wonders. But if you're more of a show me the merchandise type of person, there are links in the description of this video to our t-shirt shop, as well as links to Amazon for the books we publish under the Critical Blast Publishing imprint, including the urban fantasy anthology Gods and Services and the YA superhero novel Bulletproof by Stephen J. Mitchell. Thanks again for visiting this video. We hope you had a blast.
And this is where I'm supposed to be out, but because my laptop is from the Mesozoic era, it crashed on me. So we are still live and I can't make it shut off. I feel like the producer running to the backstage saying, they're hacking us from the outside. Shut that broadcast off.
The calls from inside. RJ, thanks
another great
again.
video.
Thanks so much.
Glad to have you, Todd. It's been a lot of fun. Appreciate it.
really, really glad that you love the book. Thank you so much for the kind words.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Let's see if we can quit.